Thanks. I'm looking at my watch. Good afternoon. Yeah, excited to be here. It's been a crazy couple of weeks being on the road. Started off with a victory here and then put ourselves in a 5-game road stretch, sitting at 3-1-1. The good news is that has put us in the top 10 in the RPI to start the non-conference, which is a fantastic place for us to be in. As a coach, I feel like we could be 5-0, a 0-0 tie to Dayton where we dominated, and then lost 1-0 to Kentucky yesterday. Again, a game where I think if we converted some of our early chances, put ourselves in a position to win that game as well, 1-0 loss. So a lot of positives, I think, for us right now. Our goals against average is less than 1, which is something that we really had been focusing on from last season to now. And we've got one more road game against Missouri coming up on Thursday, and then back home here Sunday for a noon game against Pepperdine. And certainly looking forward to playing in the friendly confines of Demersion Park here pretty soon. So that's sort of the status of where things are right now, and happy to take any questions.
You mentioned you'd love to be 5-0, but given the start to this season, you feel like you're kind of right where you want to be?
Yeah, I think as a coach, you always want more, but I think this team is, they're fighting really hard, and that's something that we've talked about. And they're playing with some trust and discipline that I think puts them in position to win games. We have been in a position to win all 5 of those games, and soccer can be a cruel sport, and the team that dominates doesn't always win, but we have put ourselves in a position to win every game we've played against a tough schedule. That's what's gotten us in the top 10 in the RPI, is that's a tough schedule to play on the road.
Your schedule just shake out this way with 5 in a row on the road, or did you do that with the purpose?
No, it really kind of just shook out that way. I mean, we knew coming into the season, we put ourselves in some tough situations in the spring. We traveled the day of games and things to kind of get ready for this. Scheduling is an art and a science, and sometimes it's you owe somebody and they owe you, and then COVID messed up some things. So certainly wouldn't necessarily plan to go 5 games on the road, but I think it's really prepared this team for what's to come. Travel in the Big Ten's not easy as well. So to put yourself and put your team in challenging situations, I think is an important part of the non-conference schedule.
Learned anything in particular being on the road for, I guess it'll be about a month between?
Yeah, I think we've learned a lot about ourselves and our resiliency and where we can work on that, right? The 2 games that we haven't won are on Sunday. So, we're talking about let's make sure we're resilient and looking at all the different things that we do to get prepared for that Sunday match. But I think this team has also learned to fight, and that by not giving up goals, you put yourself in position to win games.
So what's different than maybe about your defense to be in that spot?
Well, I think a lot of things. I think you get better. I think in some ways you add new talent, you develop the players that you have, and you use the transfer portal. And I'd say we've done all 3 to make us better this year. Maya Archibald's coming in as a freshman and is playing exceptionally well. Ella Karolak and Ellen Pearson have just improved greatly over the last year, and Belle Raleigh's come in and helped us in that role as well. And so we've used all 3 of those means to make ourselves better in the back.
You utilized a more attacking type of formation this year?
I would say we're playing in a 3-5-2. That's no secret, and you could call that an attacking or a defending formation depending on how you play it. I think we've been really smart in terms of really trying to stay together and compact defensively, as opposed to maybe pressing all the time and stretching ourselves out. We can certainly press in moments, but this team is defending collectively together better, and that's certainly been a lot of the work that we put in the spring and in the off season to put a system in place that allows them to stay collectively together and in what you might call a block. It's not a defensive block, so to speak, but we certainly are staying together and staying compact. And that takes a lot of communication and leadership. And I think that's where the players like Ella Karolak, who's kind of anchoring that defense, her leadership and her growth as a leader has helped us really to maintain that block and the communication that it takes to defend collectively in that way.
How did that come about to decide to go that route? And what does it take to get the players to buy into it?
Yeah, I think, you try to put players in positions where they do what they do well most of the time and don't have to do the things they don't do well. And when you looked at our roster and the talent and the players that we have put together, this really does that for them. I think the players that we have on the flank that can get up and down the flank, like a Meyer Archibald, like a Sydney Stevens, we put players in places where they do what they do well, and this system fits these players and allows them sort of to be best versions of themselves. Great, thank you guys.